Pulitzer Prize winner John H. White was born on March 18, 1945, in Lexington, North Carolina. His mother was Mrs. Ruby May Leverett White, and his father was Reverend Reed Ross White Sr., a minister of the African Methodist Episcopal Zion Church. White is most known for photographing Chicago's African American community from 1973 to 1974. At 28 years old, he teamed up with the federal government's Environmental Protection Agency. These photographs were for the Docu-America project that portray the difficult circumstances faced by many of Chicago's African American residents. He is also known for being one of the first black photographers for an American daily newspaper, which was in 1969 when he was hired by the Chicago Daily News. He moved to the Chicago Sun-Times in 1978 when the Chicago Daily News ceased publication. John White has received more than 300 awards from international, national, and local organizations throughout his career. All these accolades, however, could not protect him from losing his job of 35 years at the Chicago Sun-Times in 2013.
We received an email that there'd be a meeting, and it was mandatory. And so I thought, well, maybe we're all going to get new equipment. And no one knew what it was about. And it was scheduled for like 9:30, and the editor came in at 9:30 and made a statement to the point that as we move towards the technology and the digital and things of this nature, we eliminating the photo department, the photographers and staff, and turn it over to human resources. But there was one person said, "Is this real? Did he just say that?" Those were the first words I heard, and that was the unexpected of that point.
White was the first to photograph Nelson Mandela's release from 27 years in prison. He's known for a range of his photographs, from a young black man showing his muscle during a small community program in Chicago on the South Side to ballerinas at practice, and from the Pope in Mexico to Barack Obama. In 1982, he won the Pulitzer Prize in Feature Photography for a collection of his work. It's an award reserved for a distinguished example of feature photography in black and white or color, which may consist of a photograph or photographs, a sequence, or an album.
I love people. I love seniors, and I love children. And to give them every day a dose of prescription of inspiration. I don't know any other profession where one can get into the hearts and lives of anybody other than the camera. The camera's that universal passport, and I love it.
The following is a video from the 2013 Lucy Awards when White was an honoree for his achievement in photojournalism, and it showcases his best selection of works.
John White has been the rock star in the world of photojournalism, not just as an African-American photojournalist where he is definitely a pioneer. He spends time and invests not only his energy, but he builds relationships so that he can move the understanding of his reporting from a point of problem to solution.
John is a remarkable photographer. He comes out of North Carolina. Went to Chicago as a young lad and was among the first black photographers to be employed by U.S. newspapers way back in the early 1970s. He has a heavy reliance on the need to make pictures that express humanity, and he speaks himself about the need for humanity in photography.
I think John's driven to stories first and foremost by his heart. He goes to the images that are very personal, that are very emotional. Every one of his pictures tells a story.
He is the only photographer who won the Pulitzer based on a body of work as opposed to a single picture or a series of pictures on a single subject. John's portfolio was many, many subjects, each an individual story in itself. And that's what separates him from a lot of other photographers.
I think that as a teacher, John White has a legacy that goes beyond his photographic storytelling.
He has his mantra in teaching is, spread your wings and fly, and don't be inhibited by anybody else or by anything other than your own moral convictions and your own need to tell a story.